So the thing that I miss most about being a kid is probably the sense of time. Like when you're a child, you wake up and you can just get lost in the day. I grew up out on a farm in Louisiana. I would get up in the morning and leave and just be gone all day in my own little world and building forts and going in the river. But as a kid, you can really just explore. A day can last for years, and you can do so many things. Some of the artists that have inspired me in my, art career have been photographers Robert Frank, Joseph Kudelka, Cartier-Bresson, and then I discovered Robert Rauschenberg, who's a well-known artist that works with lots of different mediums and materials. So when I discovered his work, it really opened up my mind to the possibilities of what could be made with, how art could be made without using traditional art materials. I mean, my background's in photography, but I was kind of fascinated with the idea of being a painter. So I thought, well, I'll teach myself to paint by starting with collage and, kind of working with paper the way that, my friends were using paint. When I moved to Savannah, it was the mid-90s, and at that time Savannah was undergoing a pretty big revitalization. So lots of old businesses and houses that hadn't been touched in 50 years, people were buying them and basically gutting them out and throwing all the belongings on the street and in dumpsters. And I was, just digging in the dumpsters and getting all this really cool material and old wallpaper and letters and photo albums. And I mean, I've used everything from, hair to roofing materials. It's nice to be able to find my materials in the world instead of having to go to a, art store. I'm more interested in like native cultures and artifacts from forgotten times. Instead of going to kind of traditional museums, like contemporary museums, I like going to natural history museums and reading books about different cultures. My intentions are to create a interpretation of a Renaissance era painting by Bruegel, The Tower of Babel. It's a painting that I've seen throughout my life, but as a small child I remember seeing it and being really fascinated by it, by not only the visual imagery of it, but just the idea of man trying to create a physical structure to reach God, and that God came in and keeps wiping it away the higher they get. So I think that's kind of a fascinating story, and I think it'll make for an interesting image. If I could snap my fingers and make people smile, I think that would be a really great power to have, because I think there's really nothing like the power of a smile. And anybody that has babies will understand this. It's like there's something about that moment when you're looking at those little babies and then they just grin at you and give you a smile. There's nothing in the world that can compare to that.